James Garner finally breaks silence. On Charles Bronson, James Garner was a beloved American actor known for his charm, wit, and effortless screen presence. Born James Scott Bumgarner on April 7, 1928, in Norman, Oklahoma. He served in the Korean War before pursuing an acting career. Garner rose to fame in the late 1950s with his breakout role as the laid-back gambler Brett Maverick in the hit TV series Maverick. He later became an icon through his role as Jim Rockford in The Rockford Files, a part that earned him an Emmy Award and a devoted fan base. In film, Garner proved his versatility in classics like The Great Escape, 1963, Murphy's Romance, 1985, and The Notebook, 2004, where he played the older Noah. Off-screen, he was admired for his integrity, humility, and long-lasting marriage to Lois Clark. Garner passed away on July 19, 2014, leaving behind a legacy of genuine talent and timeless performances. James Garner's journey to Hollywood, following his return from the Korean War. James Garner had no clear plan for his future. He'd survived combat, earned 2 Purple Hearts, and drifted between odd jobs, from carpet laying to modeling, but nothing seemed to stick. Hollywood, it turned out, wasn't his ambition. It found him. His entry into show business was almost accidental. Garner's good looks and quiet charisma caught the attention of an agent while he was working as a parking attendant at the legendary Hollywood Tennis Club. That connection led him to small roles as an extra in commercials and television, though he barely spoke on screen at first. Garner's first significant break came in 1956 when he landed a non-speaking role in the film The Girl He Left Behind, where he acted alongside Tab Hunter and Natalie Wood. While his part was minor, it was enough to spark interest from producers and eventually secure him a contract with Warner Bros., one of the most powerful studios of the era. What followed was a role that would define the early part of his career, Brett Maverick in the TV series Maverick, 1957. Originally conceived as a traditional Western hero, Garner's unique delivery transformed Maverick into something fresh, a witty, reluctant gambler who used his brains more than his gun. Viewers instantly connected with his charm, dry humor, and self-deprecating attitude. Garner wasn't playing the hero as much as he was reinventing it. What made Garner stand out in the golden age of television was his naturalism. Unlike many of his peers who came from the theater and leaned toward melodrama, Garner acted like the guy next door. He was grounded, real, and made everything look effortless. That down-to-earth quality made him a hit, not just with audiences, but also with directors who appreciated his reliability and quiet professionalism. Yet even as he climbed the ranks, Garner remained humble. He often joked that he never took acting too seriously, and attributed his success to being in the right place at the right time. Still, his instincts, timing, and authenticity spoke for themselves. By the early 1960s, James Garner had gone from parking cars to headlining his own TV show, and soon after, to starring in major Hollywood films. His journey was not one of privilege or formal training, but of grit, luck, and undeniable screen presence. Roles that defined James Garner. Building on the unexpected success of Maverick, James Garner quickly became one of the most reliable and beloved actors of his generation. His easy charm, sardonic humor, and grounded presence allowed him to move seamlessly between television and film, comedy and drama, something few actors could do in that era. After leaving Maverick in the early 1960s, due to a contract dispute, Garner transitioned to film and found immediate success. One of his most iconic roles came in The Great Escape, 1963, where he played Hendley, the Scrounger, a resourceful American POW who uses wit and nerve to aid in a daring mass escape from a Nazi prison camp. Surrounded by stars like Steve McQueen and Richard Attenborough, Garner held his own, delivering a performance full of charisma and quiet heroism. Another defining role came in Support Your Local Sheriff, 1969, a Western comedy that allowed Garner to fully embrace his trademark style, a reluctant hero who would rather outsmart than outshoot his enemies. The film was a surprise hit and cemented his reputation as a leading man who could carry a movie with charm alone. But it was in the 1970s that Garner redefined himself yet again with the TV series The Rockford Files, 1974-1980. As private detective Jim Rockford, Garner portrayed a down-on-his-luck investigator with a beat-up car, a modest trailer home, and a deep distrust of authority. The character was tough but vulnerable, sarcastic but good-hearted, a far cry from the clean-cut TV heroes of the time. His performance won him an Emmy Award and made The Rockford Files a cult classic. In the 1980s and beyond, Garner continued to surprise audiences. His role in Murphy's Romance, 1985, opposite Sally Field, earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, a late-career highlight that showcased his gentle strength and impeccable timing. And in 2004, Garner touched a new generation with his role as the older Noah in The Notebook, bringing grace and emotional weight to a love story that transcended time, whether playing cowboys, detectives, or romantics. James Garner's performances were always anchored in authenticity. He made it look easy, but his work was thoughtful, restrained, and deeply human. These roles didn't just entertain, they defined a new kind of leading man, relatable, humorous, and quietly heroic. James Garner's peak stardom years. Building on the momentum of his iconic roles in Maverick and The Rockford Files, James Garner entered the true peak of his career in the late 1970s and early 1980s, a time when his name became synonymous with dependability, charisma, and effortless talent. While many actors struggled to transition between television and film, Garner did so with ease, balancing both worlds while never losing his humble, relatable edge. One of the defining elements of his peak years was his remarkable consistency. Unlike stars who shone briefly then faded, Garner delivered strong performances year after year, earning both critical acclaim and audience loyalty. His portrayal of Jim Rockford remained one of television's most beloved characters, blending mystery, humor, and heart into a weekly experience that millions tuned in for. Garner didn't just play Rockford, he was Rockford. The Emmy Award he won in 1977 only cemented what viewers already knew. But Garner didn't rest on his television success. He continued to take challenging and diverse roles on the big screen, further proving his range. In Murphy's Romance, 1985, he starred opposite Sally Field in a romantic dramedy that became one of his most critically acclaimed performances. His role as Murphy Jones, a kind, quirky, older man who wins the heart of a single mother, was heartfelt, charming, and understated. It earned him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor, solidifying his place as one of the few actors who had conquered both TV and film with equal grace. During this period, Garner also starred in Victor Victoria, 1982, alongside Julie Andrews, showcasing his comedic timing and willingness to take creative risks. Whether in a dramatic lead or a comedic role, he brought a unique blend of integrity and likability that few could match, even off-screen. Garner's influence grew. He became a trusted figure in the industry, known for his fairness, professionalism, and unwillingness to compromise his values. Unlike many stars, he fought for better contracts and creative control, even suing studios when necessary, not for ego, but to stand up for what was right. His peers respected him not just as a performer, but as a man of principle. By the mid-1980s, James Garner had achieved what few ever could: sustained stardom across decades, across genres, and across mediums. He wasn't flashy or scandalous. He was steady, strong, and real. In an industry full of noise, Garner's quiet brilliance stood out even more. James Garner's acting legacy. Having reached the summit of a career that spanned more than 5 decades, James Garner left behind not just memorable roles, but a long list of accomplishments that reflected his impact on the entertainment industry. Garner wasn't the type to seek the spotlight off screen, but on screen. His talent was impossible to ignore, and Hollywood recognized it. Garner won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series in 1977 for his portrayal of Jim Rockford in The Rockford Files, a role that remains one of the most iconic in television history. His performance redefined the private detective archetype, adding layers of wit, vulnerability, and everyday humanity. The series earned him 5 Emmy nominations in total, and he won the award once, marking a peak in his television achievements. In film, Garner's achievements were equally significant. He received an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor for Murphy's Romance, 1985, proving that his charm and dramatic skill were just as powerful on the big screen. The role showed a softer, more romantic side of Garner, further expanding his acting range and earning him widespread praise from critics and peers. Garner also received the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award in 2005, a recognition not just for his performances, but for his contributions to the profession itself. The SAG Award is especially meaningful because it's voted on by fellow actors, people who understand the craft intimately. That same year, he was also honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, located at 6927 Hollywood Boulevard, commemorating his lasting presence in both television and film. Throughout his career, Garner earned multiple Golden Globe nominations and was a recipient of the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a miniseries or motion picture made for television for Decoration Day, 1990. He was consistently praised for his naturalism, his ability to balance drama and comedy, and his unique on-screen warmth that made him both believable and beloved. James Garner earned respect through integrity and talent, quietly respected, lasting achievements. James Garner's enduring quiet love. While James Garner earned the admiration of fans and the respect of peers through his work, his private life was remarkably stable, a rarity in the world of Hollywood fame. Following a career filled with awards and accomplishments, Garner remained grounded by something far more enduring than celebrity: his family. In 1956, Garner married Lois Clark. Their marriage lasted 57 years. They had 2 daughters, including actress Greta Gigi Garner. However, like any long-term relationship, their marriage wasn't without difficulties. The couple briefly separated in the late 1970s, reportedly due to the pressures of Garner's career and time apart while filming. Yet they reconciled after a short time and remained together until the end of his life. Unlike many celebrities of his era, Garner never used his fame to indulge in scandal. Instead, he consistently spoke about Lois with respect, often calling her "my anchor." Garner's family life reflected his core values: loyalty, humility, and emotional strength. He kept his personal life away from tabloid headlines and rarely gave interviews about his marriage, preferring to protect the intimacy they had built. His home in Brentwood, California, was a peaceful refuge where he enjoyed quiet hobbies like golf, reading, and spending time with Lois and their children, in a career defined by characters who were tough but kind, clever but sincere. It's no surprise that James Garner lived a life that mirrored those same qualities. His marriage wasn't perfect, but it was real, resilient, and rooted in love. James Garner, Truths and Legacy. After decades of acclaim, a long-lasting marriage, and the admiration of his peers, James Garner remained, at heart, a humble man who didn't shy away from honesty, especially when reflecting on his past. One of the lesser-known truths he revealed late in life was about his complicated relationship with fellow actor Charles Bronson, his co-star in The Great Escape, 1963. In interviews and his memoir, Garner described Bronson as distant, stern, and hard to read. While Garner was naturally warm, funny, and easygoing on set, Bronson was quite the opposite: stoic, reserved, and always serious. Their personalities clashed not in confrontation, but in energy. "We just weren't built the same way," Garner once said, and that made it hard to connect. Garner respected Bronson's work ethic, despite not forming a close friendship. In his later years, he emphasized empathy, reflected on life challenges, and lived quietly until passing away in 2014 at 86. There was no media circus, no dramatic farewell, just the passing of a beloved actor who had lived honestly and fully. While his death marked the end of a remarkable life, it also revealed the depth of a man who not only entertained millions, but grew wiser and more self-aware with time. James Garner's graceful farewell. James Garner embraced a dignified, calm retirement, focusing on family and personal peace after health struggles. On July 19, 2014, James Garner passed away peacefully at the age of 86 from a massive heart attack caused by coronary artery disease. There was no media frenzy, no grand spectacle, only heartfelt tributes from fans and fellow actors who respected the man for both his talent and integrity. True to his character, his passing was simple, graceful, and private, the way he had always lived. In the wake of his death, Hollywood mourned a figure who had quietly redefined stardom. He wasn't loud, scandalous, or consumed by ego. Instead, Garner carved out a unique space for himself, the leading man who was relatable, the star who was grounded. Actors like Tom Selleck and Sally Field called him a true professional, while Clint Eastwood called him a man of quiet strength. The loss was felt deeply, not because Garner had been omnipresent, but because he had been authentic. His passing marked the end of an era, one where decency, humor, and humility could still shine brighter than controversy. His ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean, in accordance with his wishes. There was no formal public memorial, no Hollywood spectacle, just the enduring memory of a man who gave everything to his craft without ever needing to scream for attention. In the years since his passing, tributes have continued to pour in, not just for his roles, but for the values he represented. James Garner wasn't just a star. He was a reminder of a Hollywood that once valued character as much as charisma. James Garner's enduring legacy. James Garner's quiet passing in 2014 marked the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. His legacy lives on not only through the films and television shows he left behind, but in the values, professionalism, and humanity he brought to every project and relationship. Garner was more than a beloved actor. He was a symbol of integrity in an industry often known for excess. Garner's effortless performances and behind-the-scenes advocacy for actors' rights established his enduring legacy as a generous mentor and a champion for fairness in the industry. James Garner's impact extended far beyond the screen. He was a veteran, a devoted husband and father, and a lifelong advocate for fairness and decency. He never played the fame game, and yet he achieved the kind of timeless admiration that many stars only dream of. In the years since his death, Garner's work has remained in rotation on streaming platforms, classic movie channels, and in film school classrooms. Modern actors continue to cite him as an inspiration, pointing to his natural charisma, comedic timing, and his refusal to compromise his principles. His autobiography, The Garner Files, continues to resonate with readers as a rare, honest look into Hollywood from a man who never lost himself in it. James Garner didn't need to change with trends to remain relevant. He was never the loudest man in the room, but his presence lingered long after the cameras stopped rolling. That's the essence of his legacy, not just the art he created, but the character he maintained. James Garner's quiet strength, as reflected in the legacy he left behind. James Garner's life reminds us that greatness doesn't require noise, ego, or scandal. It comes from consistency, kindness, and standing up for what's right, even when no one's watching. Garner proved that you don't have to be flashy to be unforgettable. You just have to be real. His story is a quiet blueprint for how to live with integrity in Hollywood or anywhere. If you enjoyed this tribute, please like, comment, and subscribe for more timeless stories from Hollywood's golden era.